Hi, this is Rye from The Dark Passenger, and today I'm going to be discussing and reviewing the first season of Dexter. Because I recently started watching Dexter, and I've powered through all the first four seasons, and I'm currently halfway through season 5 at the recording of this video. And so far, the show Dexter is absolute cinema, aka peak television. I really enjoy the show a lot so far and wanted to talk about it and make some videos about it. So I'm planning on reviewing every season of the show leading up to Dexter Resurrection Season 2 to cover it on this channel. And I have some video rankings planned for this year, so I hope you enjoy the video and my upcoming videos. But anyways, without wasting more time, it's time to get into the review. So before going into the review, I thought to talk about my background with this show. So I've always had interest in the series of Dexter because of the gimmick or hook of the series Dexter, which is the show is about the title character of Dexter Morgan, who is a serial killer who goes after and takes out other serial killers. But anyways, going into my review of Dexter Season 1. So as I said, the concept of the show is that it's about a serial killer who takes out other serial killers. But the hook of the show is also that you're rooting for the serial killer, which is the main titular character of Dexter Morgan, because from the first episode of the series, it establishes the character of Dexter in the present day, while sprinkling throughout the first episode flashbacks to his past, his relationship with his father, Harry, and learning about how, as he was a kid, he had violent tendencies and urges, and then showing how Harry taught him Harry's code. And in later episodes of Season 1 and future seasons of the series, you learn about the code, and questions arise of questioning Harry's methods and code, and then going into Dexter and his methods with his victims, of how he searches into crimes they've committed, then stalks them to know when they're vulnerable, and then he prepares a kill room by covering it all in plastic and sedating the criminals with a syringe and putting them under layers of plastic wrap, having pictures of all their victims around them showing the crimes they've committed, and taking a cut of blood of their cheek, putting it in a glass slide as a trophy, then disposing the bodies in the bay, thus his nickname, the Bay Harbor Butcher, in future seasons. But then being a blood spatter analyst at Miami Metro Police to have a cover up job, I really enjoyed Miami as a saying for the show, and how Dexter even says himself that Miami is a great place to hone his craft, and also enjoyed most of the Miami Metro team. Like, I love Deborah, Dex's sister. I just love her attitude and personality. Plus, I like Angel Batista, how it showcases that he wants to be an honest man, but he's got some problems. Plus, I really enjoy Dokes and his headbutting kind of overall relationship with Dexter, of feelings there's something off with Dexter, like his quirky personality. In season 2 especially, there's some amazing moments with Dokes. Plus, we have LaGuerta, who I was kind of iffy about at the beginning of the season and didn't really care for much, but I felt like she got better at the end of season 1. Then we have Masuka, which I don't really care for him really at all, because everything is like a sex joke or inappropriate vulgar comments, which I don't really care for. Then there's the captain of the workplace, which I don't really care for him. But other people of the supporting cast include Rita, who is Dexter's girlfriend, who he started dating to keep up appearances and look normal. But I really love Rita, and I cared about the plot of Rita and her kids and going against the trials and tribulations with Rita's former ex-husband, who was an abusive drug addict, and how Dexter factors into her story. Plus, I into the main villain of the story of season 1, which was established in the beginning of the season, where the Miami Metro Police and Dexter found a body cut up into precise pieces, drained of all its blood, and the serial killer being dubbed the Ice Truck Killer. And then it kind of being a mystery of who the Ice Truck Killer is. Though I'm going to say spoiler warning here, because I'm going to reveal who the Ice Truck Killer is, and I'm going to talk spoilers about other things in this season. Came out 20 years ago, but at the time of this recording. But anyways, it was revealed that the Ice Truck Killer was Rudy. I kinda had suspicions of who it would be as soon as Deb's boyfriend, Rudy, said some really suspicious stuff about the human body. And then somewhere online I saw he was the Ice Truck Killer, but I didn't expect that the plot twist about that Rudy Brian was actually Brian Moser, Dexter's biological brother. I thought that was a really good plot twist, and Dexter finding out why he is the way he was when Brian made a room for him where it was covered in blood, and it unlocked a memory inside of Dexter's brain that was buried deep in his brain because of trauma, which was he and his brother Brian saw their mother being killed by a chainsaw when he was only 3 years old. So realizing what made him what he is today, witnessing such a violent thing at such a young age, Brian having the same thing happen to him, and the dichotomy of how one of them was taken in by Harry and the other was put into mental institutions and drugged up his whole life. Also, the first hint we got as Harry not actually being the most kind, honest man is him not taking in Brian because he said he was too screwed up when both of them turned out into being psychopaths. But one was taught by Harry not to senselessly take out people when Brian was drugged and deemed sane after a while of lying to doctors. And at the end of the season, when Dexter takes out his brother Brian, it personally affects him because he was his brother and the only person in the world he could truly who would truly accept him for who he really is, until another character who we meet in season 2. But this is the first person he encounters in this season who accepts him. But although he was his brother, he was also a murderer and a monster and going to hurt Deborah, who Dex cares about deeply. So he made the decision to take him out in the end, and somewhat choosing his humanity instead of completely becoming the monster Brian wanted him to be. Also, I really enjoy we see the cracks of humanity inside Dexter, even though he says multiple times throughout the series that he has no heart or he's empty inside. But we see this with his relationship that started out with Rita, that is at first fake and just to make him look normal. And it's becoming something more, because when Paul badmouths Rita Dex hits him in the head with a pan without thinking, even twisting on his rules, since one of them is to not get personally involved, and it's an especially important thing to know since the code what he bases his whole life upon. Or more major situations where Brian kidnapped Deborah and Dexter's fake persona started cracking open because he's genuinely worried for his sister Deborah, and walking around Miami Metro panicked in his apartment in the shipping containers. Plus, I enjoyed he learned some things about himself from the people he took out, like the couple near the beginning or the therapist. I thought also to talk about the opening credits, of which I think is really cool because the opening credits are just the most mundane things, like getting out of bed, making eggs, eating an orange, although it is a nasty orange, cutting up and eating meat, and flossing his teeth, putting on shoes, a shirt, but it's all shown in a weird, unsettling, disgusting way, showing the parallels to his real life and what he does. How things look normal from the outside, but there's something off about him because he can't quite fit in with everyone else does, which one of the things Dokes picks up, and why Dokes dislikes Dexter so much. Plus, another thing I really enjoyed was some of the humor, like I mentioned. The scenes between Dexter and Dokes, or when Deborah is kidnapped, Dex is trying to find any clues that Brian could have put in his apartment, and Miami Metro Police asked Dexter what happened because his apartment is trashed, and he says he couldn't find the remote. And I appreciate the wit, and it was a nice break from the previous tension in the episode. Or I found a lot of the dark humor great, like when Rita calls Dex and asks what is he doing, and he says he's dropping somebody off when he's putting body parts in trash bags, or when he knocks Paul out with a pan and drags him into his van, and Rita says what is going on, and he says he's taking out the trash. Also, I wanted to talk about maybe some nitpicks I have, because there wasn't overall anything in this season I really had a big issue with, but I thought it was interesting. In the first episode, when he did his first kill, he was wearing plastic wrap around his face because he doesn't do that in season 1 again, or the rest of the series so far. Another thing is that it was very noticeable in the flashbacks. There was nothing wrong with the flashbacks because it's important to flesh out the background of your main character and characters. But the wig they had Michael C. Hall wear in the flashbacks was funny and distracting because I could tell it was a 30-year-old trying to look like a 19 or 20-year-old. And to wrap up this review and answer the question posed by the thumbnail I made of the video, how good is Dexter Season 1 really? In my opinion, it's really good. Anyways, I really love Dexter Season 1, and if you made it to the end of the video, you could comment down below your opinions and thoughts of Dexter on Dexter Season 1. I'd love to hear them and read them. I hope you enjoyed the video. I wish y'all who watched the video have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, bye-bye.